Wrestle Club update. I'm your host, Kiki Starling, and this is my husband, the masked Starling. This was his idea, not mine.
Listen, I'm just trying to be a supportive husband, and since I know a lot about wrestling, you're welcome, from watching Kiki Starling here, I decided that what better way than to make my debut as the masked Starling than with you on updates.
So, that being said, this is episode number 1 of Wrestle Club Updates. The whole purpose of this is sometimes we understand that our live cuts out or maybe just doesn't work, our video won't play for some reason because technology kind of sucks, or maybe you just weren't able to make it to our event and we don't want you to feel like you're being left out for any reason whatsoever. So, we are starting this series in order to give you any updates about what our most recent event might have been.
Exactly. So it's perfect for all you fans to see what your favorite independent wrestlers are up to, what titles are being held right now, who took a title, or any just updates you need to keep up with Wrestle Club.
Today we're going to be talking about our November 20th, 2021 event, which was Leap of Faith at Ustick Road Church of the Nazarene in Caldwell, which was also a fundraiser for Bikes for Cambodia. When all was said and done, we did wind up raising about $900, which is the equivalent of 18 bikes. Really great event, really great turnout, really awesome cause. So now we're going to sum it up. Our first match of the evening saw Steve Super B, our GM, coming out and talking on the mic for a little bit before calling out his tag team partner, God's gift to Wrestle Club, Jonathan Monroe. A self-proclaimed title, not one I've given him, just for the record. They talked for a little bit, enjoying the sound of their own voices, because that is kind of what they do.
Just a little bit. They do like to talk a lot.
Yeah, that's why they're a good tag team.
Exactly.
Before they called out our current tag team champions, who were the Lost Soul Garabai and the Voodoo Priest Damian Black, together being Lost and Forsaken. Dr. Steve Super B and Jonathan Monroe said that they weren't really impressed with the fact that Lost and Forsaken, as the tag team champions, hadn't protected their titles in quite a while. And so they called them to that night. But being as there hadn't been a match set, they didn't have an opponent. So who do you think filled that spot? Dr. Steve Super B and Jonathan Monroe. The match went on for quite some time. Very brutal match. All 4 men absolutely obliterating each other. At the end of the match, Dr. Steve looked like maybe he was having some sort of problem with his teeth.
Yeah, it was really weird. So all of a sudden he just called the ref over and said, "Hey, check my teeth," and then the worst happened.
Our favorite puppet master, Brad Zane, came in and hit a cutter on the Voodoo Priest, Damian Black, who is his former tag team partner. They used to be Project Mayhem, but that started to get on the rocks when Damian Black became tag title holder and Brad Zane didn't. So after he hit his cutter on Damian Black, that moment was taken advantage of, and the 1, 2, 3 was hit by the ref. And unfortunately, Lost and Forsaken did lose their tag team titles to Dr. Steve Super B and Jonathan Monroe. Afterwards, Lost Soul and the Voodoo Priest did call them out to defend their tag titles, but Dr. Steve and Jonathan Monroe basically said, nah, no thanks.
Yeah, now our general manager, along with his lackey, is our new tag team champions. Unfortunately now, the Lost Soul Garabai has lost both of his titles, and Damian Black now is without a title, which he hasn't done in quite a while. I mean, he's been one of our Wrestle Club's main title holders for quite some time, either with the tag team belts or the Potato Bowl championship. So it's going to be interesting to see where they go from here after losing after losing the tag team belts.
Yeah, absolutely. And honestly, Dr. Steve Super B having a title does seem a little bit like a conflict of interest since he is the GM of Wrestle Club, but he did win it, although not technically fair and square. He did win it.
Which is going to be interesting to see how he defends his titles next, because with him being the general manager, technically he makes the rules. So it will be interesting to see where we go next to see where this tag team division goes. So now that match 1 is in the books, now match 2 introduces Mega Mosca our own Fly of Wrestle Club, going against Cali's best, self-proclaimed, Jay Cruz. This match was hard hitting right off the bat because Cruz came out very angry because if we rewind a little bit, it was actually Mega Mosca that pinned Cruz to lose his Idaho Potato Bowl championship. Cruz came out swinging in this match. He did not give Mosca a chance to breathe.
No.
So, right off the gate, Cruz attacks Mosca, just beats him. But man, Mosca put up a fight, didn't he?
Well, Mosca is one that we've seen time and time again who does put up a fight. But that wasn't the interesting part of the match. Although a good match, not the interesting part. Our cameraman was on the apron, which was something that for some reason got on Cruz's nerves.
Yeah, Cruz proceeds to grab the ref and then pull him over to tell the cameraman what to do. Ref defended himself, slapped Cruz's hands, and then next thing you know, Mosca hits him with a huge crucifix pin.
Takes advantage of that distraction.
1, 2, 3. Mega Mosca picks up a huge upset over Cali's best.
Well, unfortunately, that meant trouble for our beloved cameraman and Ref Ben, seeing as Cruz blamed them for his loss, even though it wasn't a loss for a title, it was still a loss in terms of his ego. So he spears Mosca.
Huge spear.
After
just
the match is over, hits him with a spear, and removes his mask.
Yeah, just totally takes his mask off of him, which is like a big no-no in the wrestling world because the mask for a luchador is everything to them. So the ultimate sign of disrespect by Cruz just taking off Mosca's mask.
Yep, absolutely. So our cameraman, knowing this, climbs in the ring to try to cover his face, as well as Ref Ben, both trying to protect Mosca's identity because it's something that really does mean so much to our beloved luchador. So while they're trying to defend Mosca, Cruz grabs our cameraman, tosses him, and then hits a wastelands on Ref Ben because, again, he blames both of them for his loss instead of his own foolish distraction.
You can't help but feel for the cameraman. Just the look in that cameraman's face when Cruz grabbed
Pure
him.
terror. That's not part of the job, folks.
No, they're like cameraman's just trying to get a better angle, trying to do their job, and Cruz blamed the cameraman for his loss, which is not the case at all.
No, not at all. So while Cruz was going on this rampage, we saw Evie Kiyoshi, Lost Soul Garabai, and Damian Black all come out to fight to defend our cameraman and Mosca and Ref Ben. Our cameraman and Ref Ben both had to be carried out after that.
Which a lot of credit to Damian Black and to Lost Soul Garabai after having that brutal match and just coming in and still defending their own pretty much from Jay Cruz.
Yeah.
Which Jay Cruz did bail out like the coward that he is. As soon as trouble hit, he took off. So
usually does. But after that being said, after all of this happened, Dr. Steve Super B came out very frustrated. Not that Cruz had attacked our ref and cameraman, but frustrated more about the price of hot dogs at 70 cents a pack that he pays to feed our wrestlers before the events. And because it was a ref that Cruz went bananas on, he did suspend him indefinitely. So
we don't know the length of time yet that Cruz is going to be suspended, but we do know that Cruz will not be on Wrestle Club television for quite some time.
No, I mean, Dr. Steve Super B said that he wasn't firing him, but being suspended indefinitely is kind of the closest thing that we have to it. So there's no way to know if or when Cruz will be back in the ring or around in any way, shape, or form.
It's going to be interesting to see how Cruz comes back from this and how just the Wrestle Club in general is just going to bounce back after losing one of their top performers, honestly. Despite his heel tactics, Cruz is one of the top performers in Wrestle Club.
I don't like him. Anyways, I almost said mask number 3. Match number 3 saw Catch 'em All EV Kiyoshi cutting a promo, and in it he called out the puppet master Brad Zane, essentially just for being a bully, which he's not wrong. Brad Zane just kind of runs around doing whatever he wants and beating people up.
Not wrong at all. Not wrong at all. Because Brad Zane is a bully, but can we admit that we are all jealous of EV just Catch 'em All EV Kiyoshi? I'm jealous. I wish I had the gimmick. I mean, shout out to Pokemon there.
After Evie called Brad Zane out, he took the mic back and they did a little bit more jaw-jacking after that.
Zane tries to make a funny joke, which no one's going to remember because nobody laughed. But after that, then comes, he accepts Evie's challenge, but then asks where's a ref, which if you can remember, referee Ben, which was the only ref for us that day, ends up, just got hurt by Cruz.
Our refs are not made to be taking any sort of beating, so a hefty move like a wastelands really did a number on Ref Ben. Dr. Steve Super B had Jonathan Monroe literally carry over his shoulders, fireman carry, Ref Ben out to the ring and toss him in, told him that he still had to ref, which really was not an option, so another ref had to be found, and Dr. Steve Super B found that in the Lost Soul Garabai, who was very reluctant, definitely didn't want to, but because they really needed the ref, he did.
Yeah, it was very interesting to see. Garabai did not want to seem like he wanted to ref this match. Mm-hmm. I mean, given the history between Brad Zane and himself, and then on top of that, Lost Soul Garabai tagging with Brad Zane's former partner, mm-hmm. it was perfect to see why Garabai did not want to ref that match.
Oh, absolutely. But he does. And in that, you could definitely tell that there was a bit of a bias from our Lost Soul. It seemed like he counted quickly for EV and a little bit slower for the Puppet Master. Outside of that, it was a really hard-hitting match. Zane got out of the ring and yelled at our baby to take his light work for him.
Which is ridiculous. For him to yell at our child and tell him to take care of his light work, it's like, Zane, you are the light work.
I mean, and I can't say I was too pleased. I was ready to Mama Bear on over there. But, unfortunately, didn't have to. Evie took advantage of the situation and brought Zane back into the ring. They continued on, just absolutely beating the snot out of each other until the end.
End of the match, saw Zane hit a pop-up cutter on EV, which, very impressed with the move. He's showing he has some strength behind him and hits that big cutter. And then,
hit the 3 count as well, which...
Very slow.
Very slow, so it was probably closer to a 6 count or a 10 count, which does, unfortunately, proves that Brad Zane's power behind that, and he did pick up the win. After that, though, Brad Zane obviously had a problem with the referee because Lost Soul had a bias during that. So Brad Zane and Lost Soul did get in each other's faces a little bit, and Garabai issued a challenge to Brad Zane saying, "Fight me here, fight me now," in which Brad Zane said, "No, thank you," which was a very common theme of the night, was Garabai saying that he wanted some more, and these other men backing down. But they established that on December 31st at the Idaho Potato Drop, they will be having a street fight. So that should be a very, very good match to be looking forward to. So we will be seeing that then, and also covering that in the next Wrestle Club update. Our main event was for the Idaho Potato Bowl Championship that is held by the Big Bad Wolf, Alaric Knight, who was also, worth noting, our heavyweight champion. He does hold both of those titles. He is the first person to hold both of our individual titles at the same time as well.
Yeah, first ever person to hold. Because Damian Black did hold the tag team belt in the Potato Bowl Championship, but no one has ever held both singles championships at the same time. So, yeah, well worth noting.
And the Big Bad Wolf, Alaric Knight, was defending his title against none other than the outlaw Rusty Livings.
which the Outlaws making his comeback after not being at the last couple of events.
Mm-hmm.
Which is, yeah, huge comeback to be able to have a Potato Bowl championship opportunity.
Oh,
in
yeah.
your first match back.
Absolutely. We've been missing him here for a little bit, but he is back, and this match definitely showed it. Both men going back and forth, absolutely taking it out on each other. We saw a lot from the Big Bad Wolf, the Big Bad Wolf being a very appropriate name for him.
Yeah, just a huge mountain of a man, which is a Lark Knight, man. He definitely showed his power and his strength against the Outlaw. Definitely had him against the ropes pretty much. Most of the match, like Outlaw seemed like he was up against the ropes pretty much the whole time because of just a Lark's size by itself.
Oh, absolutely. And against someone that large, proportionally speaking, even though Rusty Livings is a fantastic wrestler, he definitely knows how to hold his own, and he definitely did so in this match. It wasn't one-sided. Rusty definitely held his own. It is hard to get things in. Sometimes things go wrong, counters happen, or sometimes you just can't get enough momentum, which was something that we did see a couple of times in this match as well. In the end, the Big Bad Wolf did maintain, finally got over on the Outlaw, and did maintain his Idaho Potato Bowl championship, remaining both of our single title holder.
Yeah, it was a really good match and a great effort by Outlaw Rusty Livings, but unfortunately just didn't have enough to take over the big man. But yeah, the Lark Knight still our dual champion, which something still to be noted. It's amazing to see how far he's come up the Wrestle Club roster to take both belts now.
That was the final match of the night, so that does end today's episode on Leap of Faith. If you are looking for some more Wrestle Club action, we do have an event coming up, as we mentioned before, on December 31st, 2021 at the Idaho Potato Drop. Our tentative start time is about 6 p.m. on that one, but there will be more updates on our Idaho Wrestle Club Facebook page. And we do also have another event coming up on January 29th of 2022 at the Gem State Arts Festival, I believe, is the location on that. We don't have a time on that. That'll start, but again, our Facebook page will hold that information once we do have it. So, thank you all so much for joining us for this update on our Wrestle Club fun activities.
I'm the Masked Starling. This is my beautiful wife, Kiki Starling, and we will see you guys next time.